Goodbye 2010s basketball. We are in a new era of the NBA. Today is episode 3 in the Let's Talk Ball podcast. LeBron James is down 3-1 game tonight. Kevin Durant just got swept. Might see his last time in Phoenix. And Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson are on the rise. Today we are talking about 3 things, starting off with Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. I feel like that's the hottest topic in the NBA right now. Tom's back on the episode. We missed him out on episode 2.
100%.
Why didn't the Suns work? Like
I said, I didn't think they were gonna work from the start. Honestly, I didn't see them working out. Bradley Beal injury prone. Devin Booker can't get the job done.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think it's more of like a top heavy thing? Like, do you think like top heavy teams can't win in the league?
a little bit of that, but I mean they don't really have too much of a bench.
Yeah.
I don't think Yusuf Nurkic is a championship winning center. So what do you think, Justin?
Honestly, I think all fingers point towards KD. I mean,
Really?
KD has been on so many super teams now, and he's only won with Golden State. He should have stayed in Golden State. He would have won more championships. There's no reason why Beal, Booker, and KD can't get past the first round.
Yeah.
of the playoffs.
Honestly, that's like it's a bolder take, but I actually like it. Like I haven't heard anybody like actually blame Durant for Phoenix's not success or whatever unsuccessful season. I feel like I've heard more of it beyond Frank Vogel or the lack of depth or they don't have a true ball handler. And for me, I feel like that's where I went first. Like they don't have a true ball handler. They have 2 shooting guards and 3 ball dominant players. Like they don't have a playmaker.
Yeah.
And it's a lot on an aging Kevin Durant, but I think the Phoenix Suns are fucked. Because they have, I was talking to Tom before you came, they have 0 first or second round
For
picks
years, right?
from 2025 to 2030. How can you rebuild a team with an aging Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, who probably plays half the season at most,
And aging.
and then Devin Booker, who could be a top 10 player in the right
They get-
circumstance?
Yeah.
They're gonna trade him away now, then, to at least get something out of those 2.
That's
players,
what like
KD.
Tom said before we started talking. Like he doesn't want to see Durant, or he thinks Durant's done in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Could you go more into depth on that?
I mean, he's gone there. He's gone with the playoffs twice. Was this the first year that Phoenix was in the playoffs or the second?
This is the second year.
With KD. I'm saying.
Last year they traded for KD at the deadline, but this is still at Chris Paul.
Okay.
This year is their first year with
But
Beal,
they
Booker,
lost
and
with
Durant.
KD in the playoffs last year.
Correct.
Obviously.
Correct.
Yeah, I think he's done. And honestly, I wouldn't rule out a possible return to Golden State. Like, I'm being so serious. I know we have a Golden State fan right here, but I wouldn't. I mean, I think that he's gotten swept the last 2 times he's been in playoffs to Jason. The last 2 out of 3 times.
Right,
Jason
right.
Tatum in the Celtics, and obviously to Minnesota. Curry says we need help for this team for the Warriors. I know we're not trying to
we
go
do.
about the Warriors here.
No, yeah. Keep
But
going.
I think KD could definitely go back to Golden State.
And before you chime in, we're not like just talking about Phoenix because like we're disregarding what the Timberwolves just did. They just swept a 3-headed monster in the Phoenix Suns team. That's for another episode. We're just kind of going into the Suns because this could be the worst big 3 of all time. Like going into the season, it was kind of like, how do you stop Durant, Beal, Booker? I know we said Nurkic wasn't a finals caliber center, but for that team, like he doesn't have to be a finals caliber center.
I thought this team was a super team.
I thought this team was a super team too. They played. I know the Western Conference was super jam packed during the regular season. They were kind of middle of the pack, and unfortunately, had to play this Minnesota Timberwolves team, which me and Thomas picked to beat. Or we picked Phoenix to beat Minnesota. JB was a lone wolf. Unfortunately, we didn't rock with him.
Yeah, and I heavily regret that.
I
Obviously, since I swept, but like honestly, after game 1, I was like, the Suns
It's
are
over.
cooked.
It's over.
There's no way,
Bro, Durant and Booker dropped 88 points yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
And Bradley
Still
Beal had
no.
9 points and 6 fouls.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fouled out?
He fouled out. So
Wow.
are we on board that this is the worst super team of all time?
Well, you got to look back to that Nets team with Kyrie, Harden,
Yeah.
and who else? Oh, KD. Another big 3 KD was a part of that did absolutely nothing.
No,
So-
it is though. The teams that KD are on, the big 3 teams, besides the Warriors, you have no one around him besides the other 2 people. I mean, who do you
Yeah,
have
sure.
around him on Phoenix? Grayson Allen, you have
Right.
Yusuf Nurkic, you
Right.
have Bol. That's about it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, you're right. Golden State had a sporting cast, but I mean, Golden State had Stephen Curry. He is by far the best player Durant's ever played with. But does that make the argument that those titles? I know everybody loves to knock Curry for those titles because of Durant, but is that making us realize that those titles were more, deserving for Steph Curry? Like, I know he played with Steph Curry and Kevin Durant at the time. Those are two top 5 players in the league, and arguably before the season they still were. But we've seen Durant play with almost everybody under the sun, and he's only got it done in Golden State. So, in my opinion, this is probably one of the worst big threes of all time. I think Frank Vogel needs to go. I think Durant needs to go. Bradley Beal needs to go. Rebuild around Devin Booker. I know they tried multiple times, but I think it's time to do it this offseason.
And I know we're talking a lot about the Suns, but, boy, I think, honestly, the Timberwolves, they could go to the finals. They could very well go to the finals.
Well, look at the Nuggets.
Then against the Suns, they were such a mismatch.
Yep.
Nobody can guard Towns.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could guard AE. Nobody could get rebounds over Gobert. I mean, such a mismatch.
I think if they can beat the Nuggets, I think they're easily there.
And honestly, I think they're the best opponent.
They match up the best out of anybody. But before we rule out the Lakers coming back,
it's true.
In a hypothetical world, if LeBron James and Lakers can get over the hump of the Denver Nuggets, right? Just say they do. Is LeBron James the solidified GOAT out of, you ask anybody. You ask a 40-year-old guy, you ask a 6-year-old guy, you ask a 15-year-old boy. Is he the absolute generational GOAT?
I'll take over right here on this one.
Let JB cook.
I'm not a LeBron guy, but LeBron's already done enough, man. Yeah. I'll give the guy his flowers. I don't like him. He beat my team for like 2 times. Give him his flowers. He doesn't need to prove. It's like when Tom Brady kept winning the Super Bowls. He's already proved
why he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
But if he comes back 3-0, the first player ever to do it against probably, arguably,
what is it?
The best team in the league, at least the best team in the Western Conference.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think?
It's just gonna add to his resume. I already think he's the GOAT.
All right, so he already thinks the GOAT, huh?
I don't know. I mean, you look at stats and everything. Yeah, he's the GOAT. You look at rings. You think Jordan's the GOAT.
Yep.
I don't know. I think if LeBron can come back from down 0-3 and make it to at least the finals,
see, I
think you have I don't know.
That's bold. That's bold.
Obviously, though, you can't just I don't know.
If this man comes back, if this man with that roster comes back 0-3 against, in my opinion, the best built team in the NBA right now, there's no way in hell, there's no way anybody can convince me that Michael Jordan was better. There's nothing that Jordan lost 13. I know everybody loves to say that the Lakers are dominated by the Nuggets, and they are. But Jordan lost 13 straight playoff games against the Boston Celtics in the 80s and the 90s. People don't talk about that. Jordan's been swept twice. LeBron's been swept 3 times. It happens. But if this is, another thing, when he came back 3-1, that was when people, realized. That's when people shifted. If he comes back 0-3, I know it's only the first round, less significance. I feel it could be a crazy impact.
I'm thinking about it now. I also think that'd probably make him the GOAT. I mean, take a look. What has he not done?
Exactly.
He has 4 rings. He's top 5 in basically every single category in the NBA.
And he's not done yet.
And there's
he's probably playing for another 3 years.
When it comes to playoffs, there's one thing that no team has ever done: come down 0-3.
What is it like? Is it 0-152?
It's more than that.
Something like that. Yeah. I think it's 0-163 or something.
Talking about teams talking about the 100 and plus. There's one single outlier when you look at 3-1 in the finals, and it's LeBron James. Now, we're not in the finals. We're in the first round. But teams that are down 3-1, I know there's a few of them, including the Lakers. We're going to step to the Eastern Conference. The Bucks and the Sixers are down 3-1. Out of those 2 teams, who has the better chance of coming back in their series? Take it away.
I'm riding with New York, but this Milwaukee team is done. Injuries is gonna kill him.
JB is writing off the Bucks.
Yeah,
he has no hope in the Bucks.
But I don't think the Sixers are gonna come back either. I think both those series are done.
You think both are done, Tom?
I think honestly, with the Bucks, it relies on injuries. It relies on Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second Giannis comes back, I don't think they win or I don't think they lose a game in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all relies on Game 6.
When the hell is he gonna come back?
If he does,
that's the thing.
If he does,
if he comes back, but
Philly's cooked. Philly's cooked. I think New York wins it in 5.
I think Philly in 7. I'm not gonna lie,
Oh my God.
dude. Every single game, every single. Okay, listen. If they come back right now, I have the best clip of all time.
You do.
Listen. Philly has not lost one of these games by double digits. They've been in the fight every single time. Game 3, Which game did they fumble with the Nick Nurse timeout? Was that game 2?
2, yeah.
That was game 2.
Yeah.
Should have won that game. Should have won game 3. They did win. They did win game 3. They should have won game 4. They had the lead late in the fourth quarter. I don't think that they make 3 of those mistakes again. And I just think the Knicks. You saw what happened when Jalen Brunson doesn't perform. They rely on Josh Hart, and Nick Nurse was sagging off of Josh Hart. It happens. They rely on Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. How many times can those guys come clutch in the playoffs? They can't. Jalen Brunson had dropped 47 points last night just to beat the 76ers.
They just need one more win in New York. And when you're in Philly, it feels like...
Dude, that New York crowd is different, man. Yeah.
Listen, if the New York Knicks win that series, I will record the next episode in a Knicks jersey.
You know what I think?
We all know this guy's got an Obi jersey.
If the 76ers come back, y'all got to wear Philly stuff.
All right.
Off of eBay. Of some shit.
Deal.
Like
fine with me.
All right. We got a bet going on.
Is a New York hater.
I'm not a New York hater. Trust me, I hate Philly. Like, I hate Philly as much as I hate the Heat. I just don't think the Knicks are it, bro. The Knicks are the most overrated team in all the NBA.
Okay.
Wow.
The Knicks are the most overrated team in all the NBA.
I think I can agree with you to a point where maybe the Knicks aren't it or they're somewhat overrated, but they're up 3-1. They have all the momentum.
They are lucky. They wouldn't
to MSG Game 5 and they are winning.
They wouldn't even take a game on my Boston Celtics. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. The Celtics would sweep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but what were we talking about the other day about
I was
the
just
Celtics
gonna say,
winning every game by 10 in this series.
Listen,
and then the next day, the Celtics lose.
Listen,
the Celtics always find a way to lose.
Listen. The matchup base is great. Bam Adebayo took over in that game, and Caleb Martin took over in the game. A power forward and a center. Bigger guys. Kristaps Porzingis didn't play well. Jrue Holiday didn't play well. But what do we have? The best defensive guards in the NBA. 3 of the top 10 defensive best guards in the NBA. And Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, and Derek White.
Who don't show up.
It doesn't matter if they show up offensively because that's why we have Jason Tatum. Derek White shows up all the time. But listen, you take that into Jalen Brunson, I'm sorry. Like, he's getting stopped. He's not scoring 30 in any single game he plays against us. That's a clip, bro. I'm telling you right now. He's not. He's not scoring 30.
I just think as a Celtics fan, you have to know, like, your team. Like, there's going to be some times where Tatum and Brown, they're not going to show up in that next series. And then Brunson's going to show up.
Well,
and we're going to lose. It's just...
I'll stop you right there because they're not even going to have to face the Knicks because they're not making it out of the first round.
That's not...
And also, I know it says which team is more likely to get out of the first round. I think both of them come back. I think the Bucks come back 3-1. I genuinely believe this. Like, I'm not just saying this for the content. I genuinely believe, and I had the Bucks money line at plus 640 last night. I was really sad, but I think the Bucks are gonna come back because all they need is one. Okay, last night, by the way, Miles Turner had a masterclass. I don't know if you saw that. He had like 7 threes, and Giannis was hurt. Dame was hurt, didn't play. Bobby Portis got ejected in the first 6 minutes. Chris Middleton tweaked his ankle and didn't play at his fullest. And they had guys like Andre Jackson Jr. playing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, as long as one of them comes back, the Bucks will advance. I think Philly advances.
I think, Philly's cooked, in my personal opinion. Philly's done. But if Giannis comes back, I think Milwaukee wins that series.
Okay.
I'm saying it all relies on Giannis.
We can agree there. Justin thinks they're cooked. Me and Tom thinks there's a slight chance in Milwaukee. And I'm just a soul wolf.
Can I ask a question, though?
Go for it.
We've talked about mainly every single series, but there is a great series that's going on right now. It's a 2-2 tie.
Cleveland-Orlando.
I just want to talk about that real quick.
We're going to go over that real quick. I think it's another series that people aren't talking about as much, and I like that Tom brings this up. I know we were on the Orlando train. I thought they were cooked after the first 2 games. Then they come and just spank the shit out of the Cavs in Orlando. And the game 4, the Cleveland Cavaliers should have won that game. Orlando comes back on fire. Yeah. I'm taking... as much as I want to say, like, I don't think the home team is going to lose in that series. I got to stick to my guns. I'm going to go with Orlando.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with what we said.
With the Magic?
Orlando, yeah.
All right.
I did think it was over right away, though.
I did too.
I was like,
right when
shit.
they were down 2-0, I'm like, oh, this is an experienced
I'm
team.
still going Cleveland. I just don't know if either team has what it takes to win in the other.
Yeah, on the road.
On the road, yeah. And I don't think Orlando has what it takes to go into Cleveland in a game 7 and beat the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
I just don't. And I also don't think that the Cavaliers have what it takes to go in there and win the series in game 6.
So I know you said game 7, but let's just say Orlando sneaks one out in game 5.
Then I think Orlando wins
in
it.
6?
Yeah.
So you think whoever wins game 5 is going to win the series?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Orlando can sneak out a win in game 5, I think they win it in 6. If they don't win in game 5, I think they win in 7. But I do think Cleveland has more of a chance to win it in Orlando's home court.
Than vice versa.
Than vice versa.
I think so too. I just think it's been a crazy playoffs. Like I've very enjoyed watching these playoff games. I haven't missed one yet. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up the episode. You got anything you want to say?
Nah.
But yeah, I think it's crazy that in the end of 2024 we're talking about Kevin Durant's return to Golden State. And I think it's a very well possibility. I am not ruling out.
I saw a meme. He's like hugging Anthony Edwards. He's like, "Hey, y'all got room over there?" Sort of like,
I'm also.
Probably will, bro.
Hey,
something like that.
I definitely don't think he'll be a Sun next year, and I don't think LeBron's gonna be a Laker next year. That's for the next episode to talk about. It's been real. Let's Talk Ball podcast episode 3. Peace.